the new guys, the young bucks, the new face of the DM room. Only 2 new faces of the DM room, which is very interesting, JD. So obviously, your guy, Ashton Gillotte, and then the Chiefs signed Janarius Robinson from the Raiders. Also Florida State guys. So Chiefs, we've talked about that. They love the Florida State defensive lineman types. JD, we did film room on Janarius Robinson when we first signed him, a little film review on him. And then we had Ashton Gillotte, who nonstop motor. He's buddies with George Karlaftis. He's a guy who's going to be relentless coming at you all day long. He showed it at Louisville. The tape doesn't lie. But JD, what stands out to you about the new faces they're bringing into the Chiefs, the defensive end room?
They're bringing in guys that's going to compete right now, and you know, they didn't bring these guys to ride a bench. We know Gillotte was taken for the fact that he's going to bring a lot of heat. He's a go-getter. He's nonstop motor, plays high motor all the time. Shoot, he's going to bring something to the table. And I'm telling you what, he's going to get a whole lot of reps. He's going to get a whole lot of reps. And you're going to start seeing some guys, I don't know who it is, he's going to be eating into what they eating into. He's going to start eating off somebody's plate. So, yeah, just get prepared, because that's why they brought him in. So, Janarius Robinson, I know we watched the film on him. It still, we still had to see what the Chiefs do with him. It's always, he's a camp guy that, like, okay, look, if you want to make it, you better swim. Okay, you better swim hard, and I'm telling you better do it with all your might. And so that's what I see from this young crew right here. It's not that many; it's just these 2. So they trust the guys they have right now, but they needed a guy like Gillotte to come up here and challenge, the status quo, if you will.
Yeah, and one thing about Janarius Robinson, when I was doing this, because he was primarily a defensive end, but they have him listed. He was the only guy of the defensive tackle and defensive ends. Yeah, of course, it's the roster. I don't know who's dealing with the roster on the website, but he was the only guy on the Chiefs roster who was listed as a DL, not specifically a DN or DT. He was the only one who was specifically listed as a DL. So he's a guy, and we like the versatility. He's another guy who's played a little bit of inside and outside when he was at the Raiders. So we've seen him kind of do a little bit of that as well. And we're going to talk about another guy who was listed as a D tackle, but we've seen him listed as DN and D tackle as well. We're going to get to that in a second. But that's one thing versatility wise that can help Janarius Robinson make the team, is the fact that he can play a little bit of inside and outside. Kind of like some of the other guys we talked about in the DN room.
Yeah, but we got a lot of those guys. We got a lot, So he ain't bringing anything new. This is no shade to it. No shade. I'm just saying that we got a few guys that could do that, right? And they like bodies like that, and they are versatile, right, Marcus? So we'll just have to see. Who was that? Pepe Atreides said, what does Janarius bring? Who is this player comp? I have no idea. I don't even know who to compare him with. So we'll just have to see, man. And it's hard, man, when you sit there and say, player comp to that, golly.
I just quickly looked up what some of his player comps. This is according to AI on AI overview on Google. His player comps are Mario Edwards Jr. and Solomon Thomas, and a little bit of Josh Allen. Which, if he's a little bit like Josh Allen, then we wouldn't have picked him up where we picked him up at the free agency this past year.
They just must be looking at body type. That's it, player type comp. Is that what you're saying? As far as talent wise, that's a whole different conversation.
They're talking about his frame. So, yeah, Allen is a more explosive pass rusher, but he and Robinson share a similar frame and athletic profile. Allen's development into a star pass rusher serves as a potential ceiling for Robinson. So the ceiling could be Josh Allen, but they're looking at his frame. It looks like. And then Mario Edwards and Robinson share a similar build.
Yeah, they got the same body type. Oh my gosh. I don't mean nothing.
Yeah, Mario Edwards is more so similar body type as well as playing defensive end and D tackle. So, we're not trading for Shamar Stewart, man. That was their first round pick. They're not. That's not happening. I would love that though, but they would definitely not trade him to us. And I'm not Shamar Stewart. I wasn't that really high on him. I mean,
me either.
I mean, body of work at Texas A&M. What he had 3 sacks this past year. Like, come on, like I want a little bit more sacks from first round at the end. Okay, so we're gonna go to defensive tackle. So new faces in the defensive tackle room. So obviously Omarr, Norman-Lott. JD was a huge fan of this guy. Loved him in the pre-draft process. Had him in his mock.
Yep.
Jerry Tillery, defensive tackle. Another guy who can play a little bit of inside and outside. Already developing an interesting relationship with Chris Jones, as he said in his press conference a couple weeks ago. And then rookie Keziah Izzard from Penn State, 6'3", 305, big dude. Another a rookie and a guy probably I see being more of a practice squad guy, but it's a guy's got potential nonetheless. JD, what stands out about the new faces to the defensive tackle room?
I think this is a good number of guys for depth. These are depth pieces. Omarr Norman-Lott is going to be out there. He's going to be playing a whole lot. And also, too, Jerry Tillery, we won't have to see him, how he's going to fit in. Because I'm sitting over here, Marcus, I'm writing all these names down. I'm sitting over here like, okay, man, how many we going to keep on D-line? And I think we're going to be right around 9 or 10, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think we're going to be right around 9, man. Justin Black really liked the tape I saw of Izzard or Izzard or whatever his last name is. Izzard. Izzy. Yeah, I don't know. I have to check it out. I don't really know too much about him either. So
Penn State produces good defensive linemen. So I mean, this is someone who he was a big dude. So like he's got the potential there. So yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with him.
Yeah, well,
and of course, and like a project, right? Like I mean, we brought in what's his name? Lovett, right? He was a project. A guy who had the size, had the frame. Can he put the health together? Can he put some things together? And we'll see what happens this year. We could see the same thing for Izzard. He has like a year of being the practice squad, kind of learning from the older guys, and we can see what happens with him. But
well, Marcus, I mean, it's I think one of our issues that we had last year, it was the depth, it was the rotation, and you had to have that. I mean, it's invaluable to have guys to come in and give guys a breather, a break. And so if you're asking other guys to do what other guys, like Chris Jones to do, and you can't find that guy, you're going to struggle, okay? And especially if you're not getting the pass rush on the outside like you should, it's going to be a little tough. They are the first front line of defense, the first line that you got to cross. You got to make sure that is in order. That's in order. So what I see now is we have revamped the D-line. We have gotten some guys here, some bodies, got some guys back from injury, like a Menahu, that's going to come in and they're going to play a pivotal role in what we do. And so I'm looking for these guys on the D-line to get after some folks. Really. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So, but it is vital that you have a rotation of guys to be an effective D-line. That is the bottom line of it, right? Now, obviously, Chris Jones is Chris Jones. He's going to be up here, but you need some guys. As soon as Chris goes out, somebody's got to be right here to step right in, okay? You have to. It can't be no fall off like this because you don't have enough bodies, or you wait for people to figure it out. Like we got guys. Chris is up here. Other guys are like, hey, you know what? We'll hold the fort down, Chris, until you get back. Get your breather in, right? And then there's going to be some surprises. We know guys are hungry. Menahu's hungry. We know we were sitting there just talking about Fabian, love it, being hungry. Okay, some of the guys, the guys that's been here, they're still hungry. We're still waiting those guys to figure it out. Maybe this is the year we start seeing, Felix start doing some things. I'm rooting for this guy, man, to come out there and absolutely just be a mauler this year. That's what I'm looking for. So,
yeah, this might be the best depth we've had in the D-line room. It's like so they finally answered you and I's like prayers and our calls for the last like 2 or 3 years to like give Jones the help. I mean, because it can't just be him, him having struggling for air on the sidelines. We need somebody else to give him some breathers out there, so we won't lose that Chris Jones like pool in the middle when he's out there. We have actually guys who can come in and actually support, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now that Sherry says, so training camp or preseason, they decide who goes to practice squad. Yes. So when they start releasing guys and cutting them, they start looking for practice squad. They'll start looking where other teams who they cut as well. So they might pull somebody that lost a job somewhere else, who's gotten cut, who's gotten released, and they might pull that guy in practice squad, or even maybe compete for a starting job. That's the way it works. So yes, now that's exactly when they do it. Yeah. Richard Cooper says we are much deeper almost everywhere compared to next year, with the possible exception of safety. Okay, we got a pretty good number of guys there too.
Yeah, the safety was an interesting. It's an interesting one because we have a lot of guys who could be tweeners, who could be a little bit DB, and a little cornerback and safety. So I'm curious to see what they do with Nazi, for example. That was a guy who was a safety, drafted to be a safety. They moved him to cornerback. Now potentially he might be playing a little bit more safety this year. I mean, who knows? I mean, but like curious to see what they do with some of these guys. Jamar Connor, who was safety, they put him a little bit in the slot last year and the nickel. So is he going to go more back to safety this year? I mean, they have a lot of options with the safety room, so I'm curious to see what they do there. And Mike Evans is back too.
Listen, I don't want to see a safety covering the slot. If there's no reason for you to do it for defensive wise, 4 wide or 5 wide, do not put the safety out there. You don't need to. We got enough DBs. Heck, we got 20 of them on the field. We got 20 DBs in rooms right now. There probably more. Just waiting in around the corner. So man, I think these guys, the corners can handle it. They can handle it, man.
Yeah, quarterbacks 1 through 4, we are pretty set there. I saw someone the other day when the Dolphins were trying to trade Ramsey, someone's like, "Should the Chiefs go for him?" I'm like, "No, we're the last team that had. We have 4 cornerbacks on our team right now. We don't need another one. We don't need it."
Yeah. So yeah, and that's no disrespect. It's just like, hey man, listen, these guys are better suited for certain things.
Yeah, and yeah. Their cost besides Fulton and obviously McDuffie, he'll get paid eventually. But like all the other guys besides Fulton, they're all cost control guys. We're still in rookie deals, so it's like we're not gonna bring in Ramsey at the end of his career. He's gonna getting paid a mint. Nah, it's not happening.
Yeah, that's like it just went up here to Pittsburgh. You see that?
Yeah. The fact that they traded Minka in that trade and Minka still is a younger asset than Ramsey, pretty nuts to me that they traded him back to Miami.
Well, they got Jonnu Smith too, I guess, in the trade.
That's true, yeah.
So that's a pretty good trade, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think both sides got good out of it. I mean, Pittsburgh traded a 1st-round pick and like a 5th-round pick to get Minka in 2019, and they ended up getting Minka in a 4th rounder today. So, I mean, they got Minka back 8 and 4th, recoup that a little bit. That's not a bad trade for either team. I think Pittsburgh's in a win-now mode, it seems like.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.